considering the introduction to Parmenides. Parmenides was a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher. He was born in Elia in Magna Graecia, which is currently in southern Italy, and he was born around 514 BC. And he was born to a very wealthy and illustrious family in Greece. And his philosophy is mostly known to us through his work in the form of a poem named as On Nature. And this is an important thought by Parmenides, which gives us a gist of his own philosophy, though Kant's not know what is not that is impossible nor accurate, for it is the same thing that can be thought and that can be. We cannot gain knowledge or understanding about what does not exist or what is thought as not being, and we cannot speak about the same. The only thing that we can thought or think of and can have a meaningful explanation is the same, and that thing is being. This is a gist of his philosophy. Now, considering his philosophy in detail, as I already said, his philosophy is composed in the form of a poem named as On Nature, and this poem is having two parts. It develops the way of truth and the way of opinion. The first part, the way of truth, is comprised of his own philosophy, and the second part, which is the way of opinion, is comprised of his criticism towards the existing and prevailing things at that time. According to him, one alone is real and meaningless and changeless are unreal. He says that the reality is eternal, unchangeable and indestructible, and he says that being is the reality and it neither arises nor passes away. He considers that we cannot think of something that passes away as the reality, and his philosophy is explained through an example of a table, and as according to him, we can see the same table on the next day as well, but if we consider it in detail, the things are changing, for which he gives an explanation that the table is not changing but its qualities are, and the table is persisting its changes and it remains the same as the changes are very less, and his concept of the substance being the persistent subject and the varying predicates of the subject is very important in Western philosophy now also. He also differentiated between the concept of appearance and reality and sense and thought. He considers the thought as more important than sense, as senses can be illusionary and it can just be a mere appearance. And we consider the importance of the Parmenides philosophy. He holds that reality is always one, eternal, and it is indestructible, but it is proven otherwise by the senses, for which he gives an explanation that senses are merely the gist of what is the appearance, and his theory of reason and sense being opposed, and reason having the more importance than sense, and reason giving us the ability to understand what is real, is maintained by Plato and other thinkers even today. Atomists and Plato, who differentiates in their own philosophies, as atomists are materialists and Plato is an idealist, both are influenced by Parmenides, and he is still alive in Western modern thinkers today through his theories. The next philosopher is Heraclitus. He was also an ancient Socratic philosopher. He is from the city of Ephesus, which was then part of the Persian Empire, and he lived from the period of 535 to 475 BC, and he was a religious thinker, and he was indulged in aphorism. Now, here is a gist of Heraclitus' philosophy. We must know that war is common to all and strife is justice, and that all things come into being and pass away through strife. He emphasizes the importance of opposites or contradictions in the world. And coming to the philosophy of Heraclitus, Heraclitus considers that reality is always constantly changing and is in a state of flux. He considers the becoming as reality, and his main teaching is that everything is in constant flux. He explains his theory through the river example, in which he states that we cannot step into the same river twice, because when a man have already stepped into a river, the next moment the river is changing, and the water in the river is changing because it is in constant motion. And so the next time he stepping into a completely different river. And similarly, the man is also changing continuously, because the stream of his blood flow and his mental things and all are changing every moment. And he considers that the world is becoming, and becoming is a unity of opposites. This is one of his main theories about the opposites. He states that he also states about fire, as he considers fire as very much similar to his philosophy of ever-changing things, as fire is constantly changing every minute, and even the ashes from the fire are changing. And he also gives an order of succession, which is by condensation, the fire often changes to water and earth, and in the opposite way, through rarefaction, the water and earth also changes to fire. And fire also represents the intellectuality of a man. When a man has no fire in him, he is more intellectual, and otherwise he becomes weak, according to his philosophy. And when we consider the importance of Heraclitus' philosophy, he does not consider water or air as a primordial step. He considers that process is the reality, and it is best symbolized by fire, as I already mentioned. And he also appeals to reason, which is the thing that makes him influential among the modern day thinkers. And he is also similar to Parmenides in the same way, as both of them are appealing to reason. And he also distinguishes among change and permanence, which is also very important in the Western philosophy, even in modern day. He also states that senses gives us wrong information about what is permanent. And when we consider the similarities and the differences between Parmenides and Heraclitus, both of their philosophies are greatly opposed, as one is believing in being and the other is believing in becoming. One is saying that everything is constant, and the other is saying that everything is constantly changing and is in a state of flux. And according to Parmenides, the reality is one, eternal and unchangeable being. He opposes the theories of meanness and constant changes, but Heraclitus believes otherwise, and his reality is change, flux and becoming. He upholds the theory of meanness. And Parmenides and Heraclitus differ in many things, and does not agree on what is to be regarded as real, but both of them are upholding the importance of reason over sense, and both of them consider sense as an illusionary thing. The concepts I learned from the philosophy of Parmenides and Heraclitus is about the complexity of reality. Both of them are stating different things about reality, and Parmenides says that reality is unchanging, eternal and indivisible, but Heraclitus states that the reality is in a state of constant flux, and their emphasis on this constant flux emphasizes the importance of taking every opportunity at first, because things keep on changing, and we cannot have the same opportunity twice. And their philosophies and the contradictions among their philosophies emphasize the importance of considering multiple viewpoints of philosophies. And and my reference is